Good evening, all. I think all of you may be given at least one of Nata. Okay, so today we will be coming up with a few topics in nonverbal, and other faculties are also joining after me. So I think I will be here for next 1.5 hours. I will be over here. So today we will be focusing mainly on nonverbal topics, and today this is my third session on nonverbal. Actually, we had this is a part 5 of Nata sprint. Within these 5 sessions, we had already taken 3 nonverbal sessions, 3 long nonverbal sessions. Okay, so in that sessions, we had already covered as much as topics possible to be asked in Nata. Okay, and those are curated based on the topics which has been picked from the last year question papers and from the experiences of the students which had given their first and second Natas. Okay, because I already have a student who had already given 3 Natas. So those kinds of students are also there. And today we will be discussing some questions. And in the upcoming sessions, today we will be mainly focusing on topic-based discussion. And I think I could cover majority of the topics which is going to be asked in Nata by today itself. I think other 2 parts of non-verbal reasoning, it had been taken in our, I think you guys could find it in our playlist. Okay, if you check our playlist, you guys could find it over there, that the sessions which I had taken on the non-verbal reasoning, and I had already taken 2 sessions, I think in the part 1 as well as in the part 4, I think I had taken arithmetic reasoning. In the part 2 and part 3, I think so, I had taken non-verbal reasoning. So you guys can check all the 4 videos which is being uploaded in the playlist. So you can find it in the playlist. And I think with the 2x, okay, 2x is a max. With the 2x, you can easily have a revision of the topics. So I think we will be starting our session over here. So any doubts, you could put it in the chat. If it is addressable by me, I will be addressing it. Or if it is by our technical team, they will be addressing like exam center issues, exam issues, anything you can ask. I think yesterday hall tickets being, that means location has been for the coming Saturday, Sunday, Nata has been out, I think by yesterday, because my student, while mentioned the same in my session, my offline session. Okay, anyway, I hope you guys know how that competition is going on the Nata. How will you know that the competition? That competition you can find from the THiNC Institute of Design. Which channel? Like we have an Instagram page. So in the Instagram page, you guys could easily find it. From the Instagram page, you can find how that competition is going from the scores of the students who had already given the exam. So simply observing the scores of the students, you can understand how tight the competition is. A plenty of 160s are there. A plenty you can find there. Okay, so we can start from cube and dice related problem. My students commented that they had come across question from cubes and dice. So today we will be discussing basic things of cubes and dice. And after that, we will be trying to solve as much as questions also possible. And after that, we will be looking into the topics like embedded images, like hidden images. After that, we will be moving to figure completion, another important topic. And after that, we will be going to figure metrics. And possible, I will be discussing some other topics also over here, like shape construction and missing characters. So all these things depends on my availability also, the time availability. So I think we will be start discussing dices. So dice. So you can find a cube here. Very familiar one, cube. A 6-faced cube. So in this 6-faced cube, I'm taking a reference face. So actually today we are discussing techniques. I'm not getting into detailed theory things. I'm getting into techniques. So majority of my students were solving this through imagination methods. Okay, if your imagination is good, then no issue, you can continue with that. But if you find that it is difficult for me to imagine how these dices are rotating. Okay, then this session is for you guys, because this is for only techniques, cube related, dice related questions, only techniques we are discussing here. So through these techniques, without doing these things in the mind, my students will be doing all these things in their mind and coming up with a confused answer usually. Okay, but with this 100% surety you can ensure in the answers. Sorry. So over here, I'm just taking a reference surface AB, CGA. So this is my reference surface. So obviously you can find that opposite of ABCG. You can easily spot opposite of ABCG. So opposite of ABCG is, you can find it like, this is the opposite. So is the opposite FHDE. FHDE. This is the opposite of ABCG. Okay. And another important term over here is the adjacent sides. Adjacent sides. So the sides excluding reference and opposite. We have 4 faces or 4 sides like A, B, H, F. A, B, H, F. Okay, actually A, B, H, F is connecting reference and opposite. Okay, it is connecting reference and opposite. So if I am telling that for ABCG, ABHF is opposite, will you agree? I don't think you will agree, because it is actually adjacent. It cannot be its opposite. So keep it in mind, adjacent sides cannot be opposite. CBHD, CBHD. Next is CGED, CGED. I'm just talking about a cube. The cube is growing into a dice later. So it is like AGEF. So these 4 are adjacent. Okay. So when a question comes, who is the opposite of ABCG? When the names of these things, adjacent things, if they're in the option, you can remove them. Okay. So my first rule is that opposite faces cannot be adjacent. So keep it in mind. Opposite faces cannot be adjacent. So I have a question for you guys. You can put it in the chat, your response. What is the opposite of 4? How will you find the opposite of 4? This is the end where we're doing this question in the mind, like rotating things. We will rotate cube. 4 comes there, 6 comes there, 2 comes there. Oh, where will I put the 3? This is the condition which is prevailing if I imagine these kinds of rotations in mind. But if we have the technique like adjacent sides cannot be opposite, assume that what will be the options for this question? It will be like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Obviously, you know that this may not be coming in the option because question, the reference point itself is 4. Okay, then comes to others. Can 1 be the opposite? Can 2 be the opposite? 3 be the opposite? We don't know. But we have a rule. We have a rule. What is the rule? Adjacent or 2 opposite faces cannot be adjacent, or adjacent faces cannot be considered for the opposite. So who is 4 here? And is adjacent is 6. So 6 and 4 are adjacent. So considering 6 as an opposite is a blender. Considering 2. So we are going for a intelligent guessing. Okay. This is the method of intelligent guessing. So we removed 2. Come to here. We removed 5. Come to here. We removed 3. Who is the opposite of 1? 4 is the opposite of 1. Okay. We can simply solve this question in this way. Okay. We can simply solve this question in this way. Who is the opposite of 4? Adjacent sides cannot be opposite. And there is a folding, unfolding type question also directly connected to this particular area. Folding, unfolding. Okay, so we can have a look into some folding, unfolding things. After that, we can come to the techniques once again. So folding and unfolding is also having a technique. I will tell you how it is working. So here you can find a opened dice. Okay, opened dice. Obviously, dice is a cube. When a cube opened, it will be looks like this, or it will be looks like this. Okay, any of the format you can open this. I'll be showing you some formats. So if you get an opened up die, how will you find the opposite faces here? Okay, when it is closed, how will you find the opposite faces? There is a technique for simply solving this. That is left-right technique. Okay, left-right, top-bottom. That is the name of the technique. I'm taking 5 as the reference. Okay, after folding, this 6 and 3 will be opposite. It's apparent left. Top and bottom, I already mentioned. It's apparent left and right. They are 2 and 4. They will be opposite. Who is remaining here? 1 and 5. So this is how we are finding opposite faces. This is how we are finding opposite faces over here. Similarly, I'll be getting you one more figure. This is an opened die. Okay, this is an opened die. So find the opposites. You can put it in the chat. So let me ask you one thing. Earlier it's Arsha and Angel and Tisha given it right. Very good. Earlier. So over here, my question is, who is the opposite of 3? You guys can put it in the chat. You can use our top and bottom rule. Simply use our top and bottom rule. You can easily solve it. Yeah, go ahead. Opposite of 3. Simply use our top and bottom rule. Take 4 as the reference. Take this 4 as the reference. Its top and bottom are opposite. Yes, 3 and 5. Okay, let me look into the other rows also. Apparent left and apparent right. They are 1 and 6. Who is remaining here? Only 2 and 4. They will be opposite. Okay. Angel, good. I think you guys are getting the technique. Okay, I will be getting you one more figure. Okay, this is an unfolded dice. Fold it. And my question is, who is the opposite of 2? Let me know who is the opposite of 2. Okay, so I think you guys need to have targets for getting scores. So for that, you can visit our Instagram page. Instagram page. In that Instagram page, you can find the score of toppers. Okay, in that page, you can find the score of toppers, and you can make a plan. How much I need to score. Okay, how much I need to score. And for more score related queries, you can use the number in the live chat. Okay, you can use the number in the live chat, or okay, you can use that number in the live chat for the queries regarding how much you need to score, and for the PPTs of this particular session also, you can avail it over there. Okay, so yeah, I can find a plenty of answers there. Siddhi, Angel, Hannah, good. Opposite of 2. I'm taking this 2 as the reference. Okay, simply taking 2 as the reference. It's top and bottom, 1 and 3 are opposite. 5 of the reference, 4 and 6. So simply the remaining 2 and 5 are opposite. Easy, very easy. I think you guys got the idea. For the sake of a practice. Solve it. Let me know the opposite of 2. Who is the opposite of 2? After this, we'll be going for a folding and unfolding question. Opposite of 2. Okay, fold it. And let me know opposite of 2. Angel, Hannah, Laura, Trisha, Fatima. Very good response. Great. Opposite of 2. You can just take 3 as the reference. 1 and 4 opposite. 2 and 5 opposite. Because it's apparent left and right. Archie. Okay. I think, Archie, wait a second. I'll be talking about your tomorrow exam. Okay. And 3 and 6. Okay. All the very best for the tomorrow exam. And Archie has commented tomorrow is Archie's exam. So I think we had already come across Nata sprint from the last. This is the 5th session. And with the session, I'm assuming that I could finish majority of the topics for the non-verbal reasoning. So you could find another 2 sessions. Okay, 2 earlier sessions of non-verbal reasoning. And from that, if you watch those sessions, you can have a very good idea and you can assure maximum marks from that area if you look into those sessions. So I think referring it in at a speed of 2x or 3x. That will be better. 3x is not there. I'm sorry. Okay, referring those sessions in 2x. Okay, referring those sessions in 2x will be giving you a last time revision. I think, yeah, second attempt is tomorrow. So go for referring that videos for non-verbal reasoning, since we don't have much time for the third attempt, or for by the next attempt, we can look into the arithmetic sessions. I think time is very limited today. That is why I'm not compelling you to watch all the sessions. Okay. If you go for watching all the sessions, you will be get tensed. Go for that 2 previous sessions on non-verbal today. Okay. After the exam, you can watch the arithmetic session for your third Nata. Okay, keep it. Because this is the last time and last moment. I think it is better to going like this. And take a good sleep and be fresh for tomorrow. So don't get tense, and if you are getting tense and learning it for a long time in the night, I think it may not for good for the exam. This is from my experience. Archie, what? How to get drawing videos? How to get drawing videos? I think you can. I think we have Nata Sprint uploaded there. In the Nata Sprint, I think from 1st to 5th, I think every day there was a drawing session being there. You can quickly go through the video and you can spot where the drawing session is being started. I think it will be close to the end of the session. Okay. In our sessions, it is usually close to the end of the session. The question is here for you guys. Just put the response in the chat. So for that, I think drawing videos you can find at the end of our sessions. Okay. From the last half hours or last 1 hour, we usually have drawing. And I think today also we will be having drawing sessions. Be here, and if you have doubts on drawing, you can ask to faculty. I think Shantanu sir will be taking by today, or maybe I don't know who is handling drawing today. Okay. So I was having an offline session. It was too hectic, so I was not get time to anchor into all the things which is going to happen today. Okay, but there will be a session. So I think this can be solvable by you guys. Select from the alternative, the box that can be formed by folding the sheets. I had shown you how folding, unfolding, and how opposites we will take from a unfolded die. Okay. And I also mentioned how will you find the opposite. Okay. Archie, actually, I'm not. I think people will be putting it over here by 6 or 7. Okay, I think by after 7, up to 7 o'clock, I will be taking. After 7, 7:30 or 8, I'm not sure, but it will be here. Okay. So over here, up to 7, there is no drawing. It will be non-verbal reasoning. After 7, there will be drawing. But I'm not sure about the time because 2 more faculties are there to take. Okay. Siddhi, Fatima, Trisha, Angel. Fine. Archie. Okay, over here, opposite of F, that is B. Opposite of E, that is C. Opposite of A, that is D. We already learned how to find opposites. Okay. We already know how to find opposites. What we don't know, we don't know who can be here as a right option. That is what we are now going to find. So from my rule 1, what was my rule 1? Adjacent faces cannot be opposite, or opposite faces cannot be adjacent. The thing which we had learned from there is going to be applied over here. Okay. Things which we learned there is going to be applied over here. So if any of these pairs are shown adjacent, you can remove them from options. So come to option A. FB. Actually, they are opposite. It is shown as adjacent. We don't want this. Come to next. F, okay, B is not there. E, okay, C is not there. D, okay, A is not there. Okay, fine. So it can be. So it is the right one. Okay, but B only, A, B, C, D. So actually A is not. So now only 2 options, B and none of these. B, and none of this. So over here, this is easy. Okay, it's not too easy to be here. Easy is gone. And because it is opposite, it's actually shown adjacent in this option. Next is AD. We don't want AD. AD is also out. So B only is the right answer. Okay, in the same line, we can try this question. In the same line, select the alternative box that can be formed by folding the sheet shown in the figure. Go ahead. This is your question. Try this. I'm waiting for your responses in the chats. Tisha, Angel, why this much silence? So for admission regarding things like queries regarding admissions, we are having Nata crash batches running currently. So the queries regarding that, you can contact in the number which is given in the live chat. Okay. And for the annotated PDFs, you can use that number. And any queries regarding your exam, you can use this particular number which is provided in the chat. So if you like our contents, you can subscribe and like our videos. If you like the videos, it will be available in your like the videos also for future references also. So you can click on that bell icon for getting timely notifications also, because this is a continuous process for Nata. So we will be coming up with the sprint sessions on every Friday. That is usually we are putting sprint sessions on every Fridays. So over here, I'm just naming them A, B. I got few answers. C, D, E, F. It is easy to find that A and C are opposite, as well as B and D are opposite, and E and F are opposite. It is easy. So when you come to this option D, you can find that I'm calling this as B and this as D. Okay, this is B and this is D. So is it possible? Actually, B and D are opposite. It is shown as adjacent. So option D is wrong. When option D is wrong, with the same reason, option B is also wrong. So ABCD is wrong, ACD is wrong. Now thinking about A only or A and C. Come here. Let's see. Assume it is F. Assume it is F. Then two whites. We need to place two whites because we have two whites here. So it could be A and it could be C. Okay. So assume that you are placing C here. Then you need to place F here and A here. In anyhow, you need to make A and C as adjacent. Okay. No way, because these three are adjacent in this option C. So opposite sides like A and C, we don't have any other way to represent them. So we need to make them adjacent in option C. So C is wrong. Okay. So this is we call as B. D is not there. This is we call as E. F is not here. Okay. It can be C or A. So F can be here. So the only possible one is A. A is the only possible one. And it's being given as Hannah, Archie, and Rhea. Good. And I think Siddhi, okay, it's being given as Angel, Laura, Siddhi, Hannah, Archie, and Rhea. Very good. Very good all. So we just learned one technique. Okay. We just learned one technique. And I think 4 more techniques are still remain there. 4 more techniques of what? Finding numbers on opposite sides. All those things are there. So we just learned the technique of folding, unfolding in case of cubes or dices. Okay, folding, unfolding in case of cubes or dices. So you guys can use this particular number for your queries and doubts. Okay, classroom and online courses are still in progress in different branches. So I think we can get into the next technique. So the technique number 2. Okay. So the technique number 2 is, after solving a question, we will be discussing it. Opposite of 1. Opposite of 1. You guys can put it in the chat. What is the opposite of 1? Actually, it is solvable. Okay. Actually, it is solvable using the technique which we learned few seconds back. Okay. Opposite of 1. Even though I'll be giving a quicker one over here. Opposite of common face. Opposite of common face. Who is the common face here? 1. Because it is repeated. Okay. Hi, Angel, Ray, Tisha, good. Opposite of 1. It is being repeated. That is common face. Opposite of common face is a number which is, opposite of common face is a number which is not present on where? Not present on dice. That means visual part of the dice. It will not be present on the visual part of the dice. So over here it is 6. It is not present on the visual part of the dice. Opposite of 1. Sometimes question will be coming in the opposite way like this. I will be showing you another question. So you guys can solve this question. Find the opposite of 4. Find the opposite of 4. Okay. When 4 comes at the bottom, who will be at the top? That is the question. So in simple words, who is the opposite of 4? Angel. Who is the opposite of 4? Actually, I just mentioned that. Opposite of common face will be a number which is not present on the dice. Actually, the question is asking about a number which is not present on the dice. So let me know what is the opposite of that number which is not present on the dice. So we just learned a rule. Reverse of that. If you are looking for a number which is not present on the dice, that means the opposite of a number which is not present on the dice, then it will be the common face, given that if there is only one pair of common faces there. If there is only one pair of common faces there, its opposite will be a number which is not present on the dice. Okay. I think it's clear. So over here, we are looking for the opposite of 4. Plenty of answers I can find in the chat. Okay, opposite of 4. The number which is not present on the dice, that is a 4. So its opposite will be common face. Very good. Okay. So here, Angel, Arsha, Rhea, Tisha, everyone given right. Very good. So let's have some other techniques. Before getting into the techniques, other techniques, just have a basic idea about what is an ordinary dice and a standard dice. So for a standard dice, you can find that sum of opposite numbers will be 7. Okay. So if a given die, if the question mentioned that the given die is a standard dice, if the question is claiming that if the given dice is a standard dice, then what is the opposite of 6? If a question comes, you can easily put the answer like 1, because the question mentioned that the given dice is a standard dice. Standard dice means opposite sides, sum of opposite sides are 7. If the question is giving it like it is an ordinary dice, then you need to think that if it is an ordinary dice, then its opposite faces, sum of its opposite faces cannot be 7. Keep it in mind. This is the main difference between them. Okay, sum of opposite faces will be 7 in standard. Standard 7. Okay, learn like that. Standard 7. Okay, opposite faces, sum is 7. Standard 7. Okay, ordinary dice, opposite faces, sum cannot be 7. So in the same time, you can take the sum of 3 pairs of adjacent faces. You can see like 2, 5, 4, 3, 6, 1. Okay, all these numbers at that time will be adjacent, and their sums will be 7 individually. 2, 5, 3, 4, 6, 1. They will be individual pairs who is having sum as 7. Okay, I think you got an idea about types of dices. Now we will be looking into another rule. This could be our third rule. Okay, third rule. Before getting into the third rule, we can do one question. Who is the opposite of 3? Without rotating dice, we are going to solve this with our technique. Who is opposite of 3? Okay, who is opposite of 3? Angel. I saw your answer. Others, who is opposite of 3? When a question like this comes to exam, think students are solving it like this. One opposite. Okay. You guys are also going to be solving it like this. One is the right answer. So you can find here 2 positions of a dice. I'm getting into the technique. Actually, simply looking into the question and we will be writing the answer. That is the procedure. Simply looking into the question, we will write the answer. 2 seconds maximum for finding the right answer in a question like this. 2 seconds or go for 5 seconds. Okay. I shouldn't be like that. Okay. So I will be giving the actuary of 5 seconds. More than 5 seconds, if you spend on this question, that will harm your scores in other questions. Okay. Don't waste your time and dice. 5 seconds. Okay. In these kinds of silly questions, spend 5 seconds. Cut. Solve it. 3 and 1 are opposite. Okay. Nothing else there. And imagining it in mind and rotating it, revolving it, and doing all the operations and coming up with opposite of 3 is 6. Okay. That is a wrong one. So let's see the techniques. This is tested and proven techniques we are discussing. Tested and proven techniques. Opposite of 3 is the question. Opposite of 3. Opposite of 3. So this is position 1. This is position 2. This is top, front, right, top, front, right. Okay. So over here, look for the common face pairs. So you can find 4, 4 are common. On the position 1, it is on the front. On the other one, it is on the right. Whatever, wherever it is, not a matter. Okay. We are going to cross it. So we are not interested in the position, even though I'm just mentioning it for the sake of next technique, rule number 3. As an intro to rule number 4, I'm giving it in the rule number 3. Okay. So common face number, pair number 2, 5, 5. One is on the right, other is on the front. Okay. So 2 pairs being given. So this is, I'm just going for a condition. What? When you use this rule number 3, you need to satisfy a condition, isn't it? So the condition is that we need to have 2 pairs of common face. CF stands for common face. Okay. And now we are getting into the actual rule. Rule is quite simple. Remaining faces are opposite. Remaining faces. What is remaining faces? Common face. 4, 4 common. 5, 5 common. Then who is remaining here? This is remaining face number 1. This is remaining face number 2. They are opposite. Remaining faces are opposite. Feed it in your mind. Next time onwards, we are not going for the imagination circus. Okay. Imagining all these things in mind, and we will rotate it, revolve it, try whatever things are possible in our mind, and we will try to draw them also. Okay. Waste of time. Waste of time. Actually, I'm not hindering your imagination powers. Actually, I'm giving you a technique. Okay. If you are good at imagining and solving these questions as quick as possible through your imagination, you can do it. Unless don't waste your time on imagining these kinds of things. Okay. You are having a plenty of questions for imagining. Especially Nata is having drawing questions. And you can have your luxury of imagination over there. So over here, rule number 2 we can discuss. Okay, I think rule number 3 is clear. It's not rule number 2. Actually, I will be teaching it in different ways. Okay, sometimes I will be teaching it like rule number 2. Sometimes I will be teaching it like rule number 4. Number is not a matter. In what order you are learning, continue in that order. Okay, continue in that order. This is not Newton's laws. Okay, to follow a certain order. So when which rule, which direction you are learning, keep it in mind. So over here you are having 2 position of dice, and I have a question. What will you ask? I can ask for opposite of 4. Who will be 1 second? Who will be opposite of 4? It is rule number 4. So I am asking who will be opposite of 4. And it's your time, guys. Just put it in the chat. Earlier, Angel, Tisha, Rhea, Asha, given right. Angel, so quick. Go ahead, others. Even though I think this is the last time you guys are imagining how to solve this. Next time onwards, you guys are going to use the method. Okay. Because I can find the delay. Delay in the responses are my indicators for how you guys are solving this question. Okay. So delay in the responses, I can understand you guys are having some hectic issues with the imagining things. Okay. If the questions, if you are good at imagination, when I put this question, the answer will be here. But I'm not at all blaming anyone on their imagination capabilities. Hope all of you are having good imagination abilities than me. Okay. Even though if you find that I have some issues with my ability to imagine, don't feel bad. We have different techniques. Okay. We have different techniques with THiNC to solve these questions. So over here, opposite of 4 is being asked. Okay. So we need to use a rule. In that rule, we need to have a condition. So the condition, okay, only after satisfying the condition, you should use the rule. Okay. After using the rule and looking into the condition is not that much good. So over here, this is position 1. This is position 2. This is top, front, right, top, front, right. And coming over to here, common face pairs. Who are the common face pairs here? Okay. Common face pairs. Pair number 1. 2, 2. Okay. Common face pair. 2, 2. Let's have a look into rule. So the condition is only one pair. Only one pair of common face. Okay. Only one pair of common face. Okay, done. Only one pair of common face. Then what is the rule? What is the rule here? Rule. Same to the previous case. Remaining sides are opposite. Remaining sides are opposite. There comes an issue. Remaining sides are opposite. What is the issue? Confusion is the issue. Okay. Unlike the previous case, we have 4 sides are remaining. 4 there, 6 there, 3 there, 1 there. Who is that? 4-3 or 4-1? 6-3 or 6-1? Who is opposite? That is a confusion. Those at the front will be opposed to front. Those at the right will be opposed to right. So for that purpose, I am writing that with respect to sides. Remaining sides are opposite with respect to sides. And over here, since top and top are common face, front of position 1 will be opposed to front of position 2. Okay, right of position 1 will be opposed to right of position 2. Okay, because here it's top and top are common. When we come over here in another question, if these front and front are common, then top of position 1 and top of position 2 also opposite there. Now, who is in the front? 4 is at the front, opposed to 3. Who is at the right? 6 is at the right, opposite is 1. That's it. Common face, we will be crossing like this. So this is how we are solving questions using our rule 4. Okay. So what was the condition here? Only one pair of common face. Earlier we have two pairs of common face. Now we have only one pair of common face. Okay. Not only one pair, there is one more thing you need to note. They are at the top. Okay. That means they are at same position also. They are at same sides also. Isn't it? Only one pair of common face and they are at the same sides also. Then only we can use this equation. So when a condition comes, there is one pair of common faces available, but they are not at the same sides that are like over here. Okay. At that time, we will be using a technique called clockwise rule. Okay. I will be explaining that how a clockwise rule is working. So let's look into the question. So over here, this is our final rule, rule number 5. So let me ask you one question. Who is the opposite of 4? Try to solve this in the chat. I'll be looking for your answers. I'm eagerly looking for your answers in the chat. Okay. So in this question, common face, this is position 1. This is position 1. This is position 2. This is top. This is front. This is right. Top, front, right. Condition for using rule 5. As I mentioned earlier, I'm going to mention that condition once again. Only one pair of common face. And where is that common face pair? Only one pair. That common face is 2, 2. One is on the top, other is on the front. So only one pair of common face and not at same positions. Okay. And not at same positions or not at same sides, like sides here, like top and front over here. So if it is like on top and top, you can settle with rule number 4. But now it is not at same sides. So now the rule comes. The rule is clockwise rule. What is clockwise rule? Observe it carefully. I'm just going to identify the common face. This is the common face. Okay. So position 1, position 2. Just write position 1 and position 2, write this. So now the crucial step, construct clockwise circle starting with the common face. So it reached 1 first. In the position 1, it reached 1 first. Then it comes to 4. Then it comes to 4. Then it comes to 2 and ending there. That is not a matter for us. Leave it. Next, position 2. It is coming to 3. Clockwise circle. We are constructing a clockwise circle. And we are tracing its path. It comes to 3 first. Then comes to 6. Over. Our technique is having that its result. 1 and 3 are opposite. Similarly, 4 and 6 are opposite. 4 and 6 are opposite here. Okay, Angel and Raya given it right. Good. 4 and 6 are opposite. I think the techniques are loud and clear. Okay. So let's try some question on this. Let's try on some questions. 1 second. So you guys can solve this question. I will be waiting in the chats for your responses. On the basis of 2 positions of dice, find what number will be on the opposite face of number 5. You guys can put your responses in the chat. Sorry. Over. Is it solved? Which rule will you use? That is the first thing you need to identify. Common face. 3 in the front, 3 on the right. One pair of common face. Opposite of 5 is asked. So, common face is not at the same position. Okay. Common face is not at the same position or the same sides. It is not. Common face is not at the same sides. At that moment, what will we do? We will go for clockwise rule. Okay. So I just identified the condition and I find that solvable through clockwise. Okay. Solvable through clockwise. Apply clockwise over here. Apply clockwise. Ah, Laura, good. Okay. Apply clockwise. 3, position 1, position 2. Okay. One is on the front, other is on the right. How will you solve this? Construct the clockwise circle. Position 1 here, position 2 here. My circle is going like this. Okay. Position 1. It is going to 6 first, then to 4. Position 2. It is going to 1 first, then to 5. Very easy to identify. 4 and 5 are opposite. So opposite of 5. Option C, 4 is the right answer. Okay, option C, 4. Let's try another question. Another question. You need to find who will come in place of that question mark. Who is going to replace that question mark? That is the question. Okay. Actually, I can give you a hint. This is the application of double clockwise. Double clockwise. Apply clockwise on 1 and 2 first. After that, apply it on 2 and 3. You will be getting answer. Okay. Apply clockwise on 1 and 2. Then apply it on 2 and 3. Then you will be getting the right answer. So double clockwise. Position 1, you guys can solve. Put it in the chat. Position 2, position 3. Consider our sessions as like mock exams. Okay. So try to solve questions in a very quicker manner within time. So you can practice some questions right away over here. If you take a pen and paper very close to you, you can easily solve this. Okay. So don't consider this as we are learning something. Actually, we are practicing questions. Okay. We are actually practicing questions. And from that practice, we will be learning something. Okay. So this is like an exam, or this is like solving questions. Not we are blindly learning theories. We are learning questions. Okay. So over here, Angel, fine. So over here, position 1 and 2. My common face is 2. One is on the front and the other is on the right. So I can position 1 and position 2. I can easily draw a clockwise circle, first reaching 4, then comes to 3, then comes to 2. Okay, it is over. Now it is going to 1, then it goes to 5. Okay, so I can find that 5 and 3 are opposite. 1 and 4 are opposite. This is my inference. Easily I can find that 2 and 6 are opposite. Because only one pair is remaining, that obviously will be opposite. Okay, now comes to next pair. This is a next pair. P2, P3. Who is the common face here? 1 is the common face here. Now we are going to construct circle based on that. Come to 5. Clockwise circle. Then to 2. Okay. Then it over. From the 1, again, P3. Come to question mark. After that, it is going to 6. We already know that 2 and 6 are opposite. And from here, 5 and question mark are opposite. And 5 and 3 are opposite. So question mark equal to, easily you can find 3. Very good, Angel. Why don't we try a similar question? Why don't we try a similar question for a practice? Solve this. 3 positions. of the same dice are given below. Observe the figures carefully and find which number will come in place of question mark. 3 positions of the same dice are given below. Observe the figures carefully and find which number will come in place of question mark. Okay. Hannah, others. Angel, good. Okay. So actually, our methods of imagining these things, that is not that much comfortable over here, because this is difficult to imagine 3 dices at an instant. It is not possible. So if we have some hacks like this, we can easily solve. So over here, we can took 3 as common. 3 as common. 3, I can find this is position 1, this is position 2, this is position 3. And from the position 1 and 2, I am taking. So position 1, position 2 comes to 6, then to 1. Okay. Position 2 comes to 4, then to 5. So 6 and 4 are opposite. 1 and 5 are opposite. Okay. 6 and 4 are opposite. 1 and 5 are opposite. Okay. Let it be there. Now comes to next. P2, P3. P2, P3. Who is a common face here? 4. So P2, P3. Over here comes to 5, then to 3, and it will be ending at 4 again. 5 to question mark. Okay, interesting. Then to 2. 3 and 2 opposite. We already know from here. I didn't mention, but we can find. So 5 and question mark will be opposite. 5 and 1 will be opposite. And I'm very glad to see that all the answers over here were right. Okay. Hannah, Angel, Laura, Rhea, everyone given it right. Very good, great. So we can try a few more questions from the dice, because it's very important, because few of my students find these questions in the exam. So better to spend few more minutes on this topic. Why don't we solve this question? Which symbol will be on the face opposed to the face with the symbol star? Okay. Option A, B, C, D. At is there, dollar is there, 8 is there, plus is there. I think dollar have one more line, isn't it? Anyway, dollar like a symbol. Okay. Easy to solve. Which principle use? Which principle to use? That is the first question. Okay. Whenever these kinds of long questions comes, just simply focus on adjacent principle. Adjacent sides cannot be opposite. So at cannot be opposite. Minus is not in the option, so don't need to bother. Plus cannot be opposite. At already removed. Dollar cannot be opposite. There is no need to look into this one, because only one option is remaining, and that will be right. So option C, 8 is the right answer. Next question. This is for finding opposite of 5 dots. Opposite of 5 dots. Solve this. Opposite of 5 dots. Opposite of 5 dots. Done. Which is the opposite of 5 dots here? Identify the rule. 2 common face pairs. 2, 2. And other pair, that is 1, 1. Okay. Remaining sides are 5 and 4. Very easy. And you can easily and quickly solve this. Okay. Few more questions from the dice. What number will be on the top when 1 is on the bottom? Opposite of 1 is being asked. Opposite of 1 is being asked. Opposite of 1. What is the opposite of 1? Okay. Actually, this question is a little bit tricky. So 1, 2 and 3 are adjacent. Okay. 2 and 3 are adjacent. And in second dice, there is 1 is not provided. So we only know that 2 and 3 are adjacent. That is the only info we have. Okay. It can be 4. It can be 5. It can be 6. That is why option D. Okay. So because if this dice is also showing a 1 there, then I can easily comment for 4. But it is not like that. So we don't know where exactly it is coming. So 4 or 5 or 6. Okay. So these types of questions also we can expect. That is why I just shown one like that. Okay. If it is coming within our rules, easily solvable. So when 5 is at the bottom, 2 positions of the dice are shown below. When 5 is at the bottom, what number will be on the top? Earlier, Angel given it right. Okay. Opposite of 5. Those who haven't subscribed our channel, they can subscribe it. And for timely notifications, you can click on that bell icon. And if you like our videos, you can like, share, and subscribe our channel. So just visit the previous sessions before giving the exams. Okay, 2x speed and or 1.5x depends upon your capabilities. Okay. So I think we can solve this question. 2% of a dice are short when 5 is at the bottom, opposite of 5. Common face 1. Only one pair at the top. Very easy to solve. Oh, unfortunately, okay, leave that issue with the options. Unfortunate things will happen like this. Okay, but good. Answer is 4. Okay, opposite of 5 is 4. I am the sorry. Okay, so opposite is 4. Okay, so some typo has been happened. I'm sorry. 2 positions of a dice are shown. When 3 is at the bottom, what number will be on the top? Opposite of 3. Opposite of 3. Which rule will you use? Which rule? Very eager to know the rule. Which rule will you use? Common face is 3 only, but not at the same position. Then we will use clockwise. Oh, question is for opposite of 3. Then you will look for a number which is not present on the dice. We have techniques for everything. I think we were looking for something else. Okay. So over here, opposite of 3. Very simple. We are looking for the opposite of common face. A number which is not present on the dice is enough. Angel, Hannah, Rhea, Laura. Good. We can try one more question. And it is a previous year Nata question of 2023. So keep it in mind that it is still in their words. So this question happens to be in the exam. So try this. In the given 3 positions of dice, then which face is opposed to the face with the alphabet B? Okay. So which face is opposed to the face with the alphabet B? Opposite of B is being asked. Opposite of B. Okay. So opposed to the face with the alphabet B. So obviously A and D cannot. Okay, you can remove them if you want a guess. A and D cannot be opposite since they are shown as adjacent. Now when we come over here, looking for the, I'm just forgetting this for a while. Okay, I'm just forgetting this for a while over here. So now just look for opposite of B is being asked. Okay, so this is the top, this is the front, this is the right. This is the top, this is the front, this is the right. So here, front and front are common. Okay, front and front are common. So over here, F and D will be opposite. And I think a typo has been happened in this question. A printing error. I just noticed a previous year question with a printing error. I think it may be this one. An error occurred over here in this question. Let me see. So over here, actually we could, when we observe, okay, fine. When we just consider these options, A and D are common. Okay, fine. A, okay, fine, fine. It is deductible. Okay, fine. It is deductible to our rule having two common faces. Two common face pairs are there. So only this particular one. Okay, common face. Cut it. Cut it. So right answer is F. And it is Angel. Rhea given it right. Okay, actually there was one question with the mistake. I was just curious to check that whether it is here or not. It was not like that. Okay, so right answer is F. So we had come across few questions of the cubes. Now I think we will be switching to the next topic. That is embedded images. Embedded images is talking about hidden figures. Okay, very easy, very simple topic. So just practice some questions. So over here, just spot where you can find this. Okay, just spot where you can find this. Angel, Arsha, Tisha, Laurel, everyone just spotted it in option C. Let me check. Yes, you guys are right. Araya, good, good, good. So why don't we try this question? Question number 2. This is silly symbol chapter. Sharavanan Prakash. I think this is after a long time I'm seeing him in my chat box. Okay, over here. Ah, fine, fine. Angel, Asha, Laura, Tisha. See, over here, you can find it in option A. Very easy to spot it. Option A. Ah, Michelle. So why don't we try this question? Ah, Sharavanan, good, good. So try this question. Simple one. Simple questions we are going to discuss across all these things. You need to spot in which option you can find. Angel, others, spot it. No change in directions, Betsy. Okay, direction changes are not possible. It has to be look in the same direction, and it need to be in same size also. Okay, so looks over here for the option D. So option D is the right answer. I think enough. That is an easy and silly topic. There is no need to discuss much on that. Why don't we try question number 2 over here? Question number 2. Actually, this topic is figure completion. You need to find which tile can be fixed here. Okay, which tile will you fix here? Which tile will you fix here? Just have an eye on that rotations also. Oh, too quick, too quick. Good, good, good. So it's simple, simple. Yeah, good. Actually, it is option A. Okay, because a tile will be coming here, and this is after it having a rotation, comes it like this. After it will be coming like this. Next time it will be like this. Remaining. Okay, which option is satisfying this? That is by option A only. So it is option A. Good, good, good. Although for all those given option A, very good. So why don't we try question number 3 also? Question number 3. Hi, Angel, others. Sorry. 3, 3, oh, too thick. I will draw it. Oh, too thin. Okay, fine. Okay, fine. Okay, fine. Placed here. Next one I placed here. Next one I placed here like this. This is what we want. Which option is giving this? Which option? A figure like this. Which option? It's option A is giving it. Okay. Option A is giving it. Fine, good. Angel, Arsha, Laura, Sharavanan, Raya, and Trisha. Good, good. Okay. This question. Try this one. Try this one. Try this one. I think already those who are having exam by tomorrow, I think hall tickets and all those things has been already taken. I think so. Okay. Don't keep anything for tomorrow morning. Finish it. Finish it. The preparations, like including your bag, hall tickets, and all the things which you record for the exam by today. And if you have any queries regarding tomorrow's, you can use the number provided in the chat. Okay. Number provided in the chat. Okay. So let's solve this question. Oh, everyone gone for B, 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 B. So let's try vertical strips. Okay. Okay. This has been, rotation is happening. Okay. Obviously, a rotation is happening. So rotated image of this particular one is being over here. So we need to undergo a rotation. And after that, the rotation, these lines will be like this. Only option B is satisfying it. Okay. Only option B is satisfying it. So let's try another question. I think we can jump to another. Before that, we can do a previous year Nata question. Try this. What is the answer? So your queries, you can use the contact number in the live chat regarding tomorrow's exam. Good, good. Angel, Arsha, Rhea, Tisha, Laura, Sharavanan. Okay. So very, very active participations. So let's complete this with option B. Okay. Fine, good. So let's try. Next topic is figure metrics. Figure metrics. Let me see 1 second. So which one will be coming over here in the place of question mark? Identify the relation between the figures given here. Okay, so this is figure metrics. So identify the relation. After identifying the relation, just simply tell me who will be replacing that. So the inner elements are coming out. So this is coming out. So next time, this is the only piece which is going to coming out. Option D. Very good. Great. Let me try another question for figure metrics. Okay. Figure metrics. Next question is ready. Actually, we are collecting logics. Okay. Just keep it in mind that you guys are collecting logics from figure metrics. Okay. So the logic which we are discussing here in a combination or in a, sometimes they will be coming alone. Sometimes they will keep coming as combinations. Solve this. Let me have some water in between. While you solve that question, I will have some water. Good, good. Everyone identified the technique or the logic. Inner thing. Okay. Which is not common. Inner things which are not common. Because common things are eliminated. Common things are eliminated. So here the common thing is this one. It will be eliminated. Okay. Common things will be eliminated. And non-common ones like this will be coming out. That is one logic. Okay. Angel, Arsha, Laura, Trisha, Raya, Sharavan, everyone. Very good. That is a logic. Question number 3. Solve this. Solve this with the logics available with you guys. For admission related queries, you can use the number provided in the chat. Those who haven't subscribed our channel, they can subscribe it right now because we are coming up with similar contents until Nata exam is over. Okay, if you like our videos, please click on that like button. Okay. So let's see what is the answer here. Answer over here. Common. Let's look for. Okay, this line is present in the answer. I'm just looking for the strokes. This line is present in the answer. This line is present in the answer. Okay. Actually, they are not at all common also. Fine. So look for this line. Yes. Look for this line. Yes. Look for this line. Where? Okay, it is fine here. Okay, good. Actually, it is missing. Where it gone? So common lines are missing. Okay. Common lines are missing. So we need to think a little bit more. Common are missing. Okay. It is a twisted question. Now another color. Is it there? Yes. Actually, it is not common. So non-common things are only coming out. Common lines are disappearing. So let's see here. This line is common. This line is common. So it may not be present in the answer. What about other colors? Okay, fine. Keep it here. What about other? Okay. So I can find only few answers. It shows that how that question is or how that logic is tough. So over here, right answer is option B. So in these types of figure metrics questions also you can expect from this particular or for this particular exam. Why don't we try this question? Try this. I think you can easily solve this. Go ahead. solve this question in the non-verbal reasoning. For other non-verbal topics, you can refer our previous videos, which is uploaded in the playlist session. So I'll be giving you an idea. Part 2. In the playlist, you can look for the part 2 and you can look for the part 3. Part 2 and part 3, as well as this part. This is part 5. Okay, these 3 parts are coming up with the non-verbal reasoning. Okay, so for getting a better clarity on non-verbal reasoning, you can refer these videos. Similarly, part 1 as well as part 4, arithmetic sessions, and few more sessions are there to come. So let's jump into the answer. Fine, good. I can find many option D's here. So let's check. Okay, non-common coming out. Non-common coming out. Non-common coming out. Option D. Very good. Very good all. Angel, Asha, and others. Very good. Why don't we solve this question from shape construction? Next, we are jumping into another topic called shape construction, and we will be looking into the techniques for that. Solve this shape construction question. So the question in the figure is cut into 2 parts. Which of the answer figures complete the question figure without any overlapping? That is the question. Okay, solve this. Figure construction. Let me cut it. I just cut it. Okay, this is how we are cutting it. Now you guys can have a look. Okay, let me take the cutout. Let me take that cutout. Okay, if I place that, you can easily find that which option is. Okay, very good. It is option C. Very good. Shruti, Angel, Asha, Tisha, and others. So now it is option 2. Sorry, question number 2. I'm going to cut this into 4 pieces. Okay, so but I don't know which are the 4 pieces over here. We'll be giving this back. Please give me this back. Chuk, chuk, chuk. Ah, Angel, okay, fine. Others. More speed. Okay, check your speed and accuracy. Okay. So over here, let's divide this figure into half. Sorry, into quarters, like 4 pieces. So over here, this is right to top. This is right top. Check the position of that point. Actually, this is at somewhere at the bottom. Option A is wrong. Option A is wrong for this particular reason. Come to here. This is left to top corner. Check. Is these things are in the left to top corner? No. Now come over here. This is left to bottom. Check that. This is half of something. This is half of something. Okay. Left to top, you can check that. This is not that left to top. In this way, you can easily remove options and choose option B. Okay, Angel, Tisha, Rhea, Laura. Fine, good. So another shape construction question or another format of the question is like this. 1 second. Okay, fine, we can do this. So this is the next type. Solve this question. So alternative which represents 3 out of the 5 alternative figures, which when fitted into each other, would form a complete square. Okay, instruction is being given. It will form a complete square. So if a question demands a square, construct that square first. If the question demands a square, construct that square first. After that, we can thinking about who will fit for what areas. Just check the options. When you observe the options, you can see 3 times 5. 5 has been repeated many times. 2 times 3 is there. 2 has been repeated twice. Okay, 5 has been repeated many of the times. So you can assume, okay, you can assume 5 will be there. Okay, I'm just placing for 5. So it's an assumption. I'm checking that whether 5 will fit. Okay, I'm not that much good at drawing. Since you guys are getting enough drawing sessions, you will be too good at that, but I am not. Okay. Oh, so okay, this I'm fixing 5 here. Looking for other pieces. After 5, I could find this is the 2 options which is having, this is the 3 option which is having 5, and in that 4 repeated twice, 2 repeated twice, just, and 1 is there repeated. Okay, but I can find a triangle. Let me try to place that triangle. Actual size issues may be there because I'm just drawing it freehandly by myself. So I just place that triangle. This is 1. So I could find that automatically that 3 is coming. Automatically that 3 is coming here. So 1, 3, 5. So we will be getting a clue if you place the maximum repeated option. Okay, if that option is not suiting with other options, you can easily remove all the repeated options. Like all these things will be, if it is 5 is not giving you the answer, then obviously 2, 3, 4 it will be. Anyway, 5 is giving me answer this time. So option D, 1, 3, 5. And I can find the many D's here. Laura, Raya, Sudhi. Good. Okay. So that's it. Figure construction. And we can look into some missing character questions also. So missing character. Who will be coming here? It is your question. Okay. So with this topic, we would be winding up for today. So few questions we will be discussing from this topic also. And after that, the next faculty will be joining and take from here onwards. Okay. Missing characters. Go ahead. Find who will replace that question mark. Okay. So first of all, identify the relation. Actually, let me divide this figure into 2. It would be a hint. Okay, it would be a hint. So 9 plus 19, 28. 6 plus 5, 11. Difference of 28 and 11, 17. 7 plus 17, 24. 8 plus 2, 10. What is the difference? 14. That is here. 8 plus 18, 26. 3 plus 4, 7. Difference is 19. This time 9 plus 16, 25. 4 plus 6, 10. So the difference is 15. Okay, Angel, fine. Option C, 15 is the right answer. Okay, next question. Find the missing character. Sudeep, good, good. So now try this question. Find the missing character. I'll be looking for your answers in the chat. Okay. So over here, what is a relation? That is the first thing which we need to identify. What is the relation? So actually, I'm giving you logics for these kinds of questions. 6 into 6, 36. 7 into 5, 35. Whenever a question comes next time like this, just think about these logics. Difference is 1. 6 into 3, 18. 3 into 4, 12. Difference is 6. 6 into 3, 18. 2 into 7, 14. 18 minus 14, 4. Now it is easy. 7 into 3, 21. 2 into 9, 18. Difference is 3. And option B, Arsha is right. Find the missing number. Find the missing number. Okay, find it. Okay. So actually this 6 and 2, 8. 8 and 1, 9. This is 2 and 8, 10. Similarly, this is 9 and 5, 40. Option A, Tisha, Laura, good. So now try this with these triangles. Try this. A triangle is here. Okay. So 7 plus 9, 16. 16 minus 4, 12. 1 plus 4, 5. 5 minus 1, 4. 6 plus 5, 11. 11 minus 2, 9. Fine. Laura, good. So let's try this good question. Find the missing number. Find the missing number over here. Solve this. So similarly try missing character, missing number questions also. Okay. So let's see the answer. So 7 plus 3, that is 10. Its average is 5. 10 by 2, 5. 8 plus 6, 14. 14 by 2, 7. So 4 plus 2, 6. 6 by 2, you can write 3 here. Very good, Shruti, Raya, and all. So with this question, we will be winding up for today. That means my session. Okay. The ma'am will be taking from here onwards after this question. So over here, 1, 5, 13, 29, 61, 125. So the sprint will be taken by the ma'am. from here onwards. 1 second. After this question. So identify the relation. This is progressing in this order. Okay. This is progressing in this order. That is it. It is progressing in that Z manner. Okay. Let's see how it is. So this is 1 plus 4. This is plus 8. This is plus 16. This is plus 32. Okay. This is plus 64. Next time it will be plus 128. That is the relation. It will be coming here. So 125 plus 128. 253. So it is another logic. So keep all these logics from our sessions and keep it in your brain. Whenever it is recorded in the exam, mix the logics and solve it there. Okay. So I think I'll be handing over to ma'am over from here onwards. She will be taking from here. So Nishitha ma'am, I hope you are there. Nishitha ma'am will be taking from here onwards.
Hello, am I audible?
Yeah, you are audible. You can take from here onwards, ma'am. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir, for that wonderful session.
Yeah, welcome.
Hello, good evening, all. I'm architect Nishitha Joshi. You all already know me by now because we've taken so many sessions together. We've been there in so many sessions, these live sessions at THiNC, and we've discussed so much about architectural awareness in the past few months. So I'm sure that you all know me nicely by now. Today also I've brought some interesting topics for you for this discussion. We're going to discuss 2 or 3 different topics. In the previous few weeks, we have discussed some questions, mock questions that will help you in preparing for your exam in 2024. But in this class, I've brought something different for you. We'll quickly revise some important topics, some very interesting topics, in fact, that can help you prepare for your exam. So in this class, we won't be discussing any questions like the previous ones. Instead, we'll be discussing some topics that are a part of syllabus of Nata. So without any further ado, I think I should just share my screen. You all already know me. I am architect Nishitha Joshi. I'm a conservation architect. I work with heritage monuments towards their restoration and conservation. And I'm an alumnus of SPA Bhopal. I take architectural awareness classes at THiNC Institute of Design. And you can discuss more with me and you can learn more from me if you join our online crash batches for preparation of NATA. Okay, so this is the first topic that I'm going to discuss with you. This first topic is known as components of a building or parts of a building in simple words. As you know that any building has various parts. There are different elements that are present in a building that make it a full complete structure. So these different elements are the key things that make a building. And no matter where a building is, no matter what its purpose is, some parts of the building are common in each typology of building in each part of the world. So we'll study about these major components or parts of the building that constitute it, and we'll also discuss about their functions, that why is a particular part made in a building. Before that, you have often heard 2 words, 2 terms, that is structure and building. Do you think there is any difference between these 2 terms? I think these are 2 words that people use interchangeably without often knowing their meaning. If you know the meaning of these 2 terms, structures and buildings, if they are the same thing or if they are different, if you know all of this, please write it in the comments. For your reference, I will tell you that a structure can be anything. It can be a bridge, it can be a dam, it can be a flyover, it can be an aqueduct, it can be an anikette, it can be a tower, it can be a lighthouse or anything else. But a building is a specific kind of structure. It is a type of structure that is used to perform some or the other task by human beings, or it is used to live inside by human beings. So it is an habitable space which humans use to live, be comfortable, sleep, rest, or perform various activities. Like a house, home, huts, all of these are buildings. There are official buildings where offices and organizations run. There are institutional buildings where school, colleges, hospitals, etc. run. So these are all different types of buildings. Now, when you look at any building, there are two major parts to that building. There is one part of the building that is above the ground, what you can see above the ground. And there is another part of the building that is below the ground. So the above part, above ground level, or GL, is known as superstructure. Superstructure because it is above the ground, on the surface, on top. That is why known as the superstructure. And the one that is below is known as substructure. There is a separate category of buildings that is known as subterranean architecture. You know that the word terrain means land and subterranean means below the ground. So that kind of buildings that are made completely under the ground fall under this category. The Kailashnath temple in Ellora Caves is a very famous and very important example of subterranean architecture in India, because that the temple is made by cutting a rock, and that temple is made upside down and it is below the ground level. That is why it falls under the category subterranean architecture. Please remember that, because 2 or 3 times this question has been asked in exam in both JEE and also in Nata. So you need to know about subterranean architecture. So as I was telling you that there is some part of the building that is below the ground. So even when you look at this section on your screen, you will see a building. We have opened this building to show you what are the different parts of the building from inside. And you will see that on the left hand side, ground level is written and a line is drawn. This line basically represents the ground or the street, the road on which the building is resting. So, when you look at this particular section, you will see that the foundation is the only thing that is there below the ground. Foundation is that part of the building which holds the building in its place. There will be a lot of other types of buildings where you will find that apart from foundation, there are other things as well, like a parking lot, maybe like a storage, maybe few more rooms which are habitable rooms where people can live, and a lot of times service units for different kind of services that cater to a building. It can be HVAC system, it can be electrical system, it can be a base for lift, etc. So for many purposes, chambers or rooms are made below the ground. Most common thing that you see is there in malls or big complexes where you will find parking lots under the ground. So all of that will be a part of the substructure only. But in this example that I'm showing you, you can only see the foundation below the ground. So foundation comprises of the substructure in this particular building. And foundation is important in a building because it holds the building in its place. It is just like how the roots are there in a tree. It holds the tree in its place and protects it from any sort of damage because of natural calamities or um, any other drastic weather conditions. If there is no foundation below a building, then whenever an earthquake or a windy thunderstorm, dust storm comes, the building will displace from its place. So foundation is a very important part of the building that will hold it in the right place and won't let it move. So that is the major function of the foundation in a building, to keep the entire structure intact and to keep it in its place. Another function of the foundation is to transfer the weight or the load of the building below the ground. As you know that the load of the building is transferred from top to bottom. So topmost portion will transfer the load to the bottom portions. So from the slab, the load or weight will go to the beam. From there, it will go to the column. From the column, it will go to the foundation, and the foundation will evenly distribute the load of the building to the ground or the soil. So foundation has these two main functions. Now, after the foundation, we come to the ground level, which is the street or the road level from where we walk and reach the building. Once you reach the building, you must have noticed that the building is never at the same level as the road. It is always slightly raised upwards. Even when it is a small structure, it's just a small home also. Then also you will see that you do not directly enter from the road to the house. There is a short platform that is there that you need to climb. There may be two or three steps in that platform, and you will take those two, three steps at the entrance to reach the main door of the house or any kind of building. That short platform is known as a plinth. Plinth is a small rising platform on which a building is placed above the ground. This plinth protects the building from various kinds of harms that are there below the ground. So below ground, there are many things like moisture, like a lot of insects, like rodents, etc. So this plinth's main task is to protect the building from all of these harms that lie under the ground. If we are not going to make this plinth, then all the groundwater that is present in the soil that will seep in the building and it will spoil the tiles, the walls, and there will be seepage everywhere, and the building will become very weak over time and it will collapse. So that is why we need to make a plinth. This plinth usually has a concrete slab. It has a PCC slab which stops the moisture or anything else that is there in the ground to penetrate the building, and it protects the building from the water level that is under the ground. Now, sometimes when heavy rainfall happens, rainwater can also get collected on the roads. So to prevent the building from flooding, this plinth also acts a key role, because when water gets collected on the streets, if the building is placed at some height, the water won't be able to enter directly inside the house. But imagine if the house was right on the road, like at the same level as the road, then definitely all the drain water, all the rainwater, it would have easily flown into the house directly. So plinth protects the building from all these different kinds of harms which can affect it or which can damage it in any way. Then above the plinth, you will see the walls. Now, these walls are a very important part of the building. In old times, the type of structure that was made was known as load-bearing structure. In these load-bearing structures, the wall was the main member of the building which used to carry the weight of the building. That is why the thickness of walls in old houses, palaces, old temples is very high. The wall thickness is too much in the old buildings because these walls had to be very strong to carry the entire load of the building. Nowadays, you will see that very thin walls are there because now the type of structure that we are making has changed. We are now making framed structures, and these framed structures have slabs, beams, columns, and footings. Footings are a part of the foundation only. So through this frame or through this channel, this mesh, the entire load of the building is transferred to the ground, and here walls only act as a partition between one room or the other and as a covering or protective layer from the outside world. That is the only purpose of the wall nowadays. Now walls do not carry any load at all. So when we talk about the wall, apart from being this important barrier or this partition in a building, wall also has many openings. These openings can be of different type. They can be doors, windows, or ventilators, and more things as well, used in special buildings or historic buildings. So when we talk about the first kind of opening, that is the door, it is a very important component of building. The opening is known as the door, and the wooden object that is added there or attached there, that is known as the shutter. So shutter is the part of the door which opens and closes, and the opening space is known as the door. So doors are helpful for us because they let us commute from inside the building to the outside and vice versa, and also commute from one room of the building to another. So doors are an important means of horizontal transportation inside a building. Apart from the next thing is window. So now you will be thinking that if there is a door already, why do we need a window? Window's purpose is very different in a building. A window helps in ventilation and flow of sunlight inside the building. Ventilation means airflow, and natural lighting means letting in the sunlight come inside the building so that the room is well lit and there is proper air circulation inside the rooms so that a person does not feel dizzy or uncomfortable inside the room. Natural lighting is also very important inside buildings so that they do not look damp or we do not require a lot of artificial lighting. So windows are something that connect us to the outside world. There is some visual connectivity in between the indoors and the outdoors of the building. We can see outside and we can feel like we are a part of the nature. If there were no windows in a building, then we would feel very secluded and stuck up inside the rooms without any opening or without any connection to the outside world. So windows have multiple purposes like connecting us visually to the outside world. Secondly, to let in fresh air. And thirdly, to let in the natural lighting which lights up our room. In the old times when there were no, no artificial lights, then these windows and openings were the only source of natural lighting inside the building. Now, there are ventilators as well. Ventilators are used in areas where we cannot make windows at normal height. So, we make a heighted opening that's known as a ventilator. Its main purpose is to let in natural lighting and also to let out the smoke or bad smell from any space of the building. Apart from the walls, as I've already told you that nowadays frame structures are made. So important components of framed structure are also a part of the building. Like you can see, the slab is represented here in this dark gray line, horizontal line. This is the slab. Slab acts like a roof of the building, and the bottom portion of the slab is known as the ceiling. Sometimes we also make a false ceiling to beautify our rooms. So the slab is the topmost load-bearing member of the building, and slab is also a divider between one floor to another floor of building. So from the slab, the load will go to the column. Here you can see the column. This vertical column is there at the right corner. So from the slab, the weight will go to the column. From the there will be a beam in between. In this building, the beam is not shown. So usually from slab it will go to beam, then from beam to column, and from column to the foundation. So this is how the load or the weight of the building will be easily transferred without harming any parts of the building. Then there is furniture in the building. Apart from that, there is flooring. Flooring can also be of different types and can be done using different materials like wood, like tiles, like marble, like terrazzo, etc. These nowadays a lot of synthetic materials are available for flooring as well. And then there are carpets and rugs to beautify the floors even further. Apart from that, there are railings, balconies, etc. in the building. Balcony usually has a railing that acts as a protective layer that protects one person from falling down from it. There is a parapet on the roof. Parapet and railing are almost similar in function, but their appearance is different. Railings are more soft and more delicate, more ornamented, and they are see-through. They have gaps in between them, but parapet is a solid wall usually made in brick or stone. So these are all the major components of the building. Apart from that, we need some elements in the building which will help us in vertical transportation. If you want to go from one floor to another, then we use a staircase, which is the simplest means of vertical transportation in the building. Staircase is the most traditional means of vertical transportation. Nowadays, we also have elevators, lifts, escalators, etc. So these were all the major components of the building. If you have any doubts regarding any of these parts or components of the building, please let me know in the comments. Um, we'll try to clear your doubts. So this was one major topic that I wanted to discuss with you all. Now this topic is very important for preparation of NATA because we see that every year a lot of questions come related to this topic. There are also questions that are related to types of windows, types of doors, types of domes. So please research more about these various elements of the building and their variety of types. Like doors can be of a number of types. For example, flush door, there can be a different types of metal doors like revolving door, rotating door, collapsible door. There can be a variety of windows like awning window, bay window, casement window, etc. So there are variety of types of each of these things. So read more about those types. That will also be very helpful in your exam preparation. Now we'll go to the next topic for the day, and this next topic will talk about some famous monuments or some famous sites of the world. Again, it is an important topic for preparation of NATA because every year a lot of questions come from the topic famous structures. So let's start with discussing some globally famous, well-renowned structures of the world. So I hope that you can see my screen. The first structure that I want to talk to you about is the pyramids, the Great Pyramids of Egypt. Out of all the pyramids that are present in Egypt, the most famous ones are the pyramids of Giza. The pyramid is one of the most ancient structures, which is the geometrical triangular shape, which still exists. Basically, the base of the pyramids are square, but it is a high structure made with stone and one of the most famous and prominent famous structures of the world. In fact, one of the most visited tourist sites of the world. Pyramids design is quite complex. When we look at it from outside, it does not look like there would be a lot of things on the inside of the pyramid, but to your surprise, there are a lot of separate chambers in the pyramids. First of all, these pyramids are tombs where mummies are kept. These mummies are dead bodies of pharaohs, people of the royal family, basically, or important ministers of the Egyptian society at that time. The pyramid is designed in such a way that its most of the weight is closer to the ground and very less material is used at the top to keep the load as minimum as possible so that the distribution of weight is easy. The pyramids have been built by civilizations in many parts of the world, but the most famous are the Egyptian pyramids. Um, it contains around 13 lakh blocks of stone ranging from 2.5 tons to 15 tons in weight and built between on square base with sides measuring up to 230 meters covering 130 acres. These are some indoor images of the pyramids. As you can see, there are many steps inside the pyramid and there are multiple chambers. Because these pyramids have a lot of golds and riches inside them, it was important to protect these chambers so that it was not easy for anyone to loot them. That is why a maze-like structure is made inside, and there are different chambers with different items. And in one of the chambers, the um, casket with the bodies of maybe the king and the queen or whoever it belonged to is kept. Ancient Egyptian pyramids were in the most cases placed west of River Nile. River Nile was the most important river along which the banks of Egyptian civilization evolved. The Great Pyramid of Giza is the tallest pyramid of the Egyptian civilization, and its construction was finished in 1311 BCE. Let's look at the next famous structure. This is the Leaning Tower of Pisa. I'm sure that you all already know this was not leaning since the beginning. It was a very regular tower until this one time when earthquake struck this region and the tower bent a little bit. It started leaning a little bit, but then it has been that way ever since. The Leaning Tower of Pisa is the freestanding bell tower of Cathedral of Italian city of Pisa. The tower is tilt at an angle, a slight angle, and this tilt has increased over the last few years. It is slowly increasing. The height of Leaning Tower of Pisa is 55.86 meters on one side, and on the tilted side, it is 56.67 meters. Of course, on the other side, which is on the inwards side, the height is slightly less. The weight of the tower is 14,500 tons and it has around 296 stairs. Here, the most important information for you all to know is that the tower is in Pisa, Italy, and it is leaning the approximate height. That's it. But try to also notice the features of this tower. Look at the beautiful arches and the columns that you can see on the outer side of this tower. So that is more important for you to remember than anything else. I'm telling you a lot of other details as well for your so that you can connect better with the building, so that you can know its story and you can memorize it in a better manner. So this tower took approximately 199 years to be constructed, and different floors were constructed in different eras. The tower begins to sink after the construction of second floor, and this was due to the foundation of the tower. This is a close-up image of the Leaning Tower of Pisa. You can see that marble cladding has been done on the surface of the tower with very beautiful ornamentation. This is an image showcasing the steps, the staircase of the Leaning Tower. The seventh floor was completed in 1319. It was built by an important person who was also a connoisseur of Gothic art and architecture, an important style of architecture. There are seven bells in this tower, one of each note of the musical scale. The largest one was installed in 1655. The bell chamber was finally added in 1372. So as you can see, this tower has not been constructed at once, but in different stages, and at different times, different elements have been added to it. Next famous structure is the Colosseum, the most elaborate and elegant amphitheater that was constructed in ancient Rome. The Colosseum is an amphitheater of the Roman Empire and considered as an example of greatest example of Roman architecture and engineering. This amphitheater is like a lot of modern day stadiums, because most of our modern day stadiums have been inspired from the design of this amphitheater built in the 70 CE in Rome. The construction of Colosseum under the Emperor Vespasian uh, in 70 CE began in 70 CE and was completed in 80 CE under his successor Titus. The capacity of Colosseum is between 5,000 to 8,000 people who can sit at once, who could sit at once in this amphitheater, and they could enjoy various entertainment-based activities like wars between gladiators and titans. Many gladiatorial contests or events used to happen in this premises, such as animal hunts, executions, and drama on classical mythological storylines and characters. You can see that on the outer elevation of Colosseum, many columns are there, and in each floor, different type or different style of Roman column can be found. Roman column or Roman order can be found in the Colosseum. The Colosseum was covered with an enormous awning known as the velarium. This protected the spectators from the sun. So basically, there was a sunshade in the Coliseum at one point when it was at its prime. Today, it is missing. We don't see it. Um, it was attached to large poles on top of the Coliseum and anchored to the ground by large ropes. A team of some 1,000 men were used to install the awning. The southern side of the Coliseum was fallen down by an earthquake in 847 CE. Part of the building, including the marble cladding, were later used for the construction of outer landmark buildings such as the St. Peter's Basilica and the Palazzo Farnese. This is just an extra trivia about this building that the southern part of the building had fallen down because of an earthquake, and the remains of the Coliseum, the part that had fallen down, that was reused in making some other famous buildings like the St. Peter's Basilica. Next famous structure is Taj Mahal. Taj Mahal is in India, so I am sure you all already know a lot about it. Again, it is famous because it is made with the gorgeous Makrana white marble. And Taj Mahal is a white marble structure situated at Agra in UP, India. It was constructed by the Mughal Emperor Shah Jahan for his third wife Mumtaz Mahal. And the construction began in 1632 and completed in 1653. Around 20,000 workers were required for the completion of construction of Taj Mahal. And of course, there are many myths and stories around it, but one thing is for sure that Taj Mahal's beauty is unmatchable. There are many different kinds of artworks that you can find on surfaces of Taj Mahal, like the stucco work, Araish work, Petra Dura, etc., all of which have been done using materials like precious stones, gemstones, mirror, mosaic, etc. It is also believed that diamonds and some very precious stones were a part of the design of Taj Mahal, which were, of course, later on removed. In front of Taj Mahal, you will see a very remarkable garden, which is known as Charbagh. And at the extreme end of the campus, the Taj Mahal is there. It's a huge campus. There are multiple gateways inside that campus, and there is a huge garden which is divided into four fragments. Roads separate this garden, these four gardens, and there is a fountain at the center. These four quadrants of the garden represent the four rivers of heaven, as mentioned in Islam. And at the very end of this entire complex, the marvelous Taj Mahal resides. And when it was constructed, it was right at the banks of River Yamuna. And other structures inside the campus were all made in red sandstone. There is a mosque, there's a sarai, and some other structures built inside the same complex, which are all in red sandstone. And the Taj Mahal has been made in white marble to create a contrast in this site, and so that this particular monument can stand out as compared to all others in Delhi. Next famous structure is the Pantheon. Pantheon is the most celebrated temple in Rome. It is a it is a temple in Rome, Italy, commissioned by Marcus Agrippa during the reign of Augustus. This was around 27 BCE to 14 CE, and some damages had happened, so this structure was rebuilt by Emperor Hadrian in 126 CE. Now, this is famous because this is the only temple in Rome which is dedicated to all the gods of Roman mythology. You must be aware that Roman mythology had its own gods and goddesses. So, this is a temple that celebrates the gods and goddesses of Rome. But that is not the only reason why it is so famous in the present time. This is the one of the first structures that use the full potential of arches and dome in any building in world history. Before this, there was a lot of experimentation that was happening with the design of arches and domes, but this was the first time in history when they were used at its optimum, because there is a huge dome that is installed in the main hall of this temple. This dome is a stepped dome which also has a circular skylight, At its center, the skylight is known as the oculus. Let me just show an image to you. On this screen, you can see the portico of Pantheon. Portico is the porch, the entrance porch of Pantheon, where you can see these gorgeous orders coming from Roman architecture. And on top, you can see the entablature, and at the roof level, you can see the pediment adorned with this beautiful cornice going all around it. So from here, you can see some parts of the back. This circular hall is there. Yeah, so these are some more pictures of the Pantheon in Rome. So in the first image, you can see a side view where you can see the circular hall that is behind. This circular hall is the main hall where the statues of different gods are kept inside the temple. And in the second image, you can see the aerial view where you can clearly see the stepped dome. You can see that it is resting on a lot of number of steps. It was very difficult to make a dome at this time. This was the first freestanding concrete dome that was made in that time, lime concrete. And this is an oculus, it is open to sky. The use of glass was not there in this time, so this is open to sky. And this is the only opening inside this temple which brings in the natural lighting and lights up the temple during the day. And this third image is there of the interior of Pantheon. Here you can see the vaulted ceiling. The coffered ceiling is there. This is a coffered ceiling made for beautification. This is on the interior side of the dome. And below you can see these circular arches, semicircular arches, and you can see these small kiosks with the triangular design. Kiosks are the places where statues of different gods are kept inside the circular hall. And here all the gods of Roman mythology can be seen at once. Next famous structure is the St. Basil's Cathedral. St. Basil's Cathedral is a former church in Red Square in Moscow. It is in Russia. The building, which is now a museum, is officially known as the Cathedral of the Intercession of the Blessed Virgin on the moat. So this is the image of the church, the St. Basil's Cathedral. The design is extremely interesting and it does not look like a very traditional church. The architecture of this building is very unique. If you look at it like from one glance, it looks like it is maybe Disneyland or something else. Because of the vibrant colors, the use of different kind of domes, and the artistic freedom that has been used in the design and creation of this building's elevation. That makes it stand out. And if you compare it with any other cathedral, this is the most unique church design. It was built from 1555 to 1561, and it is one of the biggest cathedrals in Russia. The original building, known as Trinity Church and later Trinity Cathedral, contained 8 side churches arranged around the ninth central church of intercession. The 10th church was erected in 1588 over the grave of venerated local Saint Vasily, also known as Basil, on whose name this church has been named. The building is shaped as a flame of a bonfire rising into the sky. So that is the concept behind designing this building. The center of the marketplace was marked by the Trinity Church built of the same white stone as the Kremlin of Dmitry Donskoy. These are some interior images, some sketches and one interior image of the church. So you can see how densely ornamented the walls are and how colorful they are. Because the church has no analogous in preceding, contemporary, or later architecture of Moscow and Byzantine cultural tradition in general, the sources that inspired Burma and Postnik are disputed in designing this church. This is a unique example of Byzantine style of architecture. You can see corbel arches in this church as compared to the semicircular arches in the Roman architecture. So as you can see, there are different types of uh, arches as well that you need to study about. Next famous building is the Petronas Twin Towers. Petronas Tower, also known as the Twin Tower, are situated at Kuala Lumpur in Malaysia. It has 85 floors plus 5 floors of basement. And these are two identical towers that are connected to each other at one of the floors. The tower is designed by Argentine architect Cesar Pillai. They chose a distinctive postmodern style to create a 21st century icon for Kuala Lumpur. The construction began in year 1994 and completed by 1999. The twin towers were built on the side of Kuala Lumpur racetrack. The tower has sky bridge on the 41st and 42nd floors, which is highest two-floor bridge of the world. So here you can see the bridge that is connecting the 41st and 42nd floor of the two towers. Next famous building that I want to discuss with you all is the Empire State Building. This is one of the most famous buildings in pop culture. We have seen this building in a lot of movies and a lot of series and shows. Empire State Building was one of the tallest building in the world, which is situated at New York, United States of America. It is a 103-story building. Its total height is 443 meters high. Empire State is the name derived from the pet name of the New York City. It is the tallest building of the world for, it was the tallest building of the world for 40 years straight. And after the deconstruction of World Trade Center, it again became the tallest building in US. The Empire State Building was designed by William F. Lamb. So it is important for you all to know the architects as well who are designing these buildings. Not just the name of the building or basic features are important, but the designer and some information about the designer is also very important. The Empire State Building was designed by William F. Lamb. He produced building drawing in just 2 weeks, which was also a record. This building has been shown in many famous buildings, for example, King Kong. And till date, it is one of the most popular tourist attractions of USA. Next famous building is the Chrysler Building. The Chrysler Building is a skyscraper in New York City in US. As you can see, it also has a very unique design. After the deconstruction of the World Trade Center, Chrysler was the second most tallest building in New York City after the Empire State Building. It was the headquarters of the Chrysler Corporation from 1930s to mid-50s. So basically, it was the office of an organization. Chrysler Building was designed by architect William Van Allen for a project of Walter P. Chrysler. The construction of Chrysler was started in 1928, required total 38 lakh 26,000 bricks and was completed in 1930. So this also tells us that it was a brick structure and it is a modern era building. There are different eras and styles in architecture, so this belongs to the modern style. Um, the corners of 61st floor are graced with the eagles on the 31st floor. The corner ornamentation are replicas of the 1929 Chrysler radio toe caps. The next famous building is Opera House. Just look at this image and tell me, where have you seen this building? This particular structure resembles a very famous structure in India, a very famous building in India. So can you name that famous building from India in the comments? I'm waiting for your response. Let me know. Till then, we move ahead with the Sydney Opera House. Sydney Opera House is a multi-venue performing arts center present in Sydney, Australia. It is designed by John Hudson. The facility features a modern expressionist design with a series of large precast concrete shells. So the kind of roof design that you can see in this building and the other building present in India that I just talked about and asked you about, the type of roof is known as shell roof that you can see in both these buildings. Each composed of sections of sphere of 75.2 meter forming the roofs of the structure set on a monumental podium. The building covers 1.8 hectares or 4.4 acres of land and is 183-meter long, that is 120-meter wide at its widest point. It is supported on 588 concrete piers sunk as much as 25 meters deep in the water. Roofs are precast concrete panels supported by precast concrete panels supported by precast ribs, not shells in a strictly structural sense. It needed 10,56,000 tiles in two colors, glossy white and matte cream, to complete this building. Next famous structure is Burj Khalifa. I am sure that you all already know about Burj Khalifa. It is currently the world's tallest building. It is situated in Dubai, UAE. It is 828 meters tall in height, and you can see that materials like steel, glass have been used in abundance in creating this building. And just look at the scale of this tower, this tall skyscraper, as compared to all the other buildings surrounding it. The construction of Burj Khalifa started in 2004 and completed in 2009. It was opened officially in the year 2010 January. Burj Khalifa was designed to include 30,000 houses and 9 hotels, 3 hectares of parkland, at least 19 residential towers, Dubai Mall, and 12 hectares man-made Burj Khalifa Lake. All of this inside the skyscraper. According to officials, the project like Burj Khalifa is important for Dubai for foreign investment and for increasing tourism. That is why this marvelous tall structure was created, and now it is truly one of the most visited tourist places in the whole world. Proportionally, the Burj Khalifa uses half amount of steel as compared to Empire State Building. It is constructed by MR Properties. Next famous structure is the Burj Al Arab. Let's look at the beautiful design. Burj Al Arab is a luxury hotel located in Dubai, UAE. It was the only seven-star hotel in the world from 1999 to 2008. This building is standing on an artificial island 280 meters from the Jumeirah beach and is connected to the mainland by private bridge. Burj Al Arab was designed by architect Tom Wright. So this is also one more important information. The hotel was built by South African construction contractor Murray and Roberts and Al Habtoor Engineering. The building was opened in December 1999. Building is on the artificial island. The island takes 3 years to come out of sea, which is filled with the sand, and the building takes 3 years to complete. The building contains 70,000 cubic meters concrete and 9,000 ton steel. Next famous structure is Lotus Temple, and this is also the answer to my question that I asked when I was explaining the Sydney Opera House. Lotus Temple and Sydney Opera House both have a shell roof, which look quite similar in form to each other. And Lotus Temple is situated in New Delhi, India. It is a Baha'i house of worship. Lotus Temple has won thousands of awards for its remarkable architecture. There are ponds surrounding the Lotus Temple that make it look like an actual lotus sitting in a pond. The structure is built in the shape of lotus and was completed in 1986. It is made of pure marble. So on the shell roof that you can see on these shells, marble cladding has been done. Around the blooming petals, there are 9 pools of water which light up at night. It looks spectacular. This white marble structure has together 27 lotus petals. It was made to look like lotus floating on water. It is visited by people of all religions and is open for everyone. The Steel is used to design the petals and is galvanized to protect from rusting. These shells have got thickness of about 6 to 8 centimeter. Next famous building that I want to discuss with you is the bucket building. It is given this name because for obvious reasons, it looks like a picnic basket. The Longberger Company is an American manufacturer and distributor of handcrafted maple wood baskets and other home and lifestyle products. Longberger uses direct marketing to sell the product. They have made their building, their headquarters look like a basket, which is their most famous product that their company sells. The seven-story, 1,80,000 square feet building was designed by the Longberger Company and executed by NBBJ and Korda Nemeth Engineering. The building was opened in 1997. The basket weighs almost 150 tons, which is heated in cold season. Next famous or intriguing building is the UFO house. It is designed by imagining how a UFO would look. The Shanxi UFO house, situated in Shanxi district, New Taipei City in Taiwan. The site is owned by Hankyo Group. It was constructed in the beginning of 1978. However, the project was an abandoned site by 1980 due to investment losses and several car accident deaths during the construction. The building was scheduled to be torn down in late 2008, despite an online petition to retain one of the structures. Now, this is used as a cinematography hub by MTV. Next famous building is the Nakagin Capsule Tower. It is one of the most interesting apartment buildings, you can say, in world. Nakagin Capsule Tower is a mixed-use residential and office tower designed by architect Kisho Furukawa, a very famous architect from Japan. This building is located in Tokyo. The building was the world's first example of capsule architecture built for permanent and practical use. The building still exists but has fallen into disrepair, meaning there is no maintenance. The building is actually composed of two interconnected concrete towers, respectively 11 and 13 floors, which house 140 prefabricated modules. Prefabricated means uh, made or manufactured in factory and not on site. So each of these are self-contained units. The capsules can be connected and combined to create larger spaces, meaning this is a very flexible building. Capsules can be connected and combined to create larger spaces. Each capsule is connected to one of the two main shafts only by four high tension bolts and is designed to be replaceable. No units have been replaced since the original construction. Construction occurred on the site and off site because a lot of it is also prefabricated. Next famous structure that I want to talk about is Beijing Olympic Stadium. Whenever any important sports events like the Commonwealth Games or Olympics happen, complexes are created to facilitate such structures. So, in a similar manner, the Beijing Olympic Stadium was also created. Beijing Olympic Stadium, also known as Bird Nest Stadium, was especially designed by the summer 2008 Olympics held in China. The stadium consists of two independent structures standing 50 feet apart, a red concrete seating bowl, and the outer steel frame around it. In an attempt to hide steel supports for the retractable roof required in the bidding process, the team developed the random looking additional steel to blend the supports into the rest of the stadium. 24 trussed columns encase the inner bowl, each one weighing 1,000 tons. Despite random appearance, each half of the stadium is nearly identical. So these were some of the most famous structures that I wanted to discuss with you today. I'm sure that you already know about a lot of them as they are uh, quite renowned. And there might be some which you heard about for the first time, but that is also okay. There are so many more buildings, and it is absolutely impossible for you all to know each and every building. But to read more about other famous structures, I will show you some more. Okay. We still have some time left, so I'll show you some more famous structures. Let me just share my screen again. Hope you can see it. So this is the Asian Games Village. As I told you that for such sporting events, specific villages or sporting arenas are created. So this is the image of Asian Games Village. It is present in Delhi. Games Village is located near Khas in New Delhi, India, in the CD Fort area. The location was built like an athlete village during the Asian Games. It was constructed in 1982 and was designed by Raj Rival. Raj Rival is a very famous and renowned Indian architect. In the game series, the town is the first of its type. The residential area was built on the ruins of the 15th century Khilji dynasty Siri fort, over 800 acres. Next famous building is Palace of Assembly. This is a famous building in Chandigarh. It was designed by Le Corbusier inside the Capitol complex. In Chandigarh, India, the Palace of Assembly is a legislative assembly building. Le Corbusier, a modernist architect, designed it. He designed his buildings in the modern style of architecture, of which this building is also a great example. The Legislative Assembly, Secretariat, and High Court are all part of the Capitol complex. A circular assembly chamber, a venue for discourse and commerce, and stair-free circulation are all the important elements of the Palace of Assembly. We've already discussed about Lotus Temple, but I forgot to tell you at that time that this temple has been designed by Faribor Saba. Faribor Saba in the year 1986. You already know it is a Baha'i house of worship and it is open to people of all faiths. Next famous building that I want to discuss with you all is Bharat Bhavan. Bharat Bhavan is a multi-purpose structural complex in Bhopal. Bhopal is the capital of Central Indian state of Madhya Pradesh. You can see some pictures of Bharat Bhavan. It has a very interesting design actually. Some of the parts of Bharat Bhavan are at the basement level, some at the ground level, and some reach up to a height of one or two more floors above that. The government of Madhya Pradesh created and sponsored Bharat Bhavan, an autonomous multi-art complex and museum in Bhopal, India. Charles Correa was the designer of Bharat Bhavan, again another famous architect who has done some remarkable projects in India. Can you name some more projects that were designed by Charles Correa in the comments? I'll be waiting for your answer. It contains various art galleries, a graphic printing factory, a ceramics workshop, an open air amphitheater, a studio theater, an auditorium, tribal art and cultural museum, and many galleries. So at the same time, different kind of activities and functions go on at the Bharat Bhavan. It was founded in 1982 and faced the upper lake in Bhopal. The major material that is used in construction of this site by Charles Correa is red bricks, and that makes this building settle down very nicely with the surroundings of the historic town of Bhopal. Next famous building is Embassy of Belgium, another brick marvel. You can see the designing is so different and interesting, and you can see the use of semicircular arches here of different scales and sizes. This is Belgium's diplomatic representation to India and is housed in the Belgian embassy in New Delhi, Shantipat. It is, of course, in the capital city of India, and India, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, Maldives, Bhutan, and Nepal are all covered by the Belgian embassy in New Delhi, and this building was designed by architect Satish Gujral. Next structure is the Brooklyn Bridge. Brooklyn Bridge spans the East River between Manhattan Island and Brooklyn, Long Island in New York City, and is a hybrid cable suspension bridge. You can know that it is a suspension bridge because you can see these suspenders that are connected to the bridge, holding it in place. With a primary span of 1,595.5 feet, that is 486.3 meters, and a deck of 127 feet, that is 38.7 meters above mean high water. It was the world's longest suspension bridge at the time of its opening. Can you tell me what is the longest suspension bridge in the world at the present moment? Let me know your answer in the comments. The bridge was previously known as the New York and Brooklyn Bridge of the East River Bridge, but in 1915 it was formally renamed the Brooklyn Bridge. Early 19th century proposals for a bridge linking Manhattan and Brooklyn were made, eventually leading to the building of the present structure designed by John A. Roebling. So that is the name of the designer. Please keep that in mind. Next famous building is Tube House. It is a tiny house that won a competition. Ahmedabad's Tube Home or Tube House took first place in an all India competition for low cost housing. Low cost housing means a type of housing that is affordable for all. A pioneer for low cost housing in India uh, was Laurie Baker. Laurie Baker's has created some of the most remarkable low-cost housing projects, not just in India but also in Sri Lanka. And there is still a center known as Laurie Baker Center in Kerala, which takes workshop and also conducts a lot of projects for low-cost housing in the present time using sustainable materials like bamboo, etc. These are row homes with a high density without sacrificing living room size. The apartments usually have no doors in this. We've already discussed Burj Khalifa, so I am skipping that. I'm going to talk about Connaught Place with you all, a very famous space in New Delhi, also known as Rajiv Chowk or CP. It is one of Delhi's most important financial, commercial, and business districts. It was designed by Robert Torr Russell, and it has a lot of stores and designer shops, etc. And it was built during the British period in India, and you can see the typical features of British architecture in these buildings. The way these columns have been made, the arches that have been used in this building, the kind of windows, etc., and all the elements, you will see the image of Victorian architecture here. It is a large retail, nightlife, and tourism attraction in New Delhi, housing the headquarters of numerous well-known Indian companies as well. Um, we've already discussed the Petronas Twin Tower, so I'm skipping that. Eiffel Tower. I think you all already know about it. You've also seen this in many movies and shows. On the Champ de Mars in Paris, France, the Eiffel framework is a wrought iron lattice tower. It is named after Gustave Eiffel, who was the engineer who constructed this tower. It was built from 1887 to 89 and was first criticized by certain French artists because they did not think it was so beautiful. But later on, it became a global cultural icon and became one of the most famous tourist attractions in Paris. Next is Hiranandani Garden. This is upmarket township in Powai, Mumbai, consisting of condominiums, penthouses, bungalows, and commercial complexes. Hiranandani was built by the Hiranandani Group and is accessible from both the north and south. Jawaharlal Nehru Stadium. It is a multi-sports venue in New Delhi, and it has a capacity of 60,254 people who can sit at the stadium at one time. High Court Building in New Delhi. High Court Building was founded in 1966. Kanchenjunga Apartments. Kanchenjunga Apartments were built by Indian architects. Was built by Indian architect Charles Correa. The 32 luxury apartments are located southwest of downtown in an affluent suburban environment, representing the features of the highest tier of society within the neighborhood in Mumbai. It is a very famous building designed by Charles Correa, one of his most renowned projects. I'm sure you know more buildings that have been designed by Charles Correa. I've already asked you to mention the buildings that you know that were designed by him in the comment section. LIC building, this is the headquarters of LIC present in Connaught Place. It was constructed in 1986 using red Agra sandstone. Parliament House, in Central Vista. Parliament House was designed by Sir Herbert Baker and Edwin Lutyens and is present in Central Vista to the present time. And now it has been replaced with a new Parliament House. But earlier, this was the only one that was used for all the parliamentary proceedings by the Indian government. It is at a distance of 750 meters only from the Rashtrapati Bhavan, which was also designed by the same two people. This is the Rashtrapati Bhavan. The dome of Rashtrapati Bhavan has been inspired by the Sachi Stoop and was designed by the same designers like that of Parliament House, and is present opposite to the India Gate. World Trade Center. This is the old building of World Trade Center. This was demolished in the attacks of September 11. This is how the old building used to look. Now the new building is almost under construction, almost at a completion stage. You've discussed all these buildings, so I'll skip this. I think with this, we come to the end of this discussion on architectural awareness. We discussed about the different components of building. We discussed about the various functions of these parts of building, and we discussed about some famous buildings and the architects who had designed this building. It was a great session, and I had a lot of fun discussing these topics with you. I'm sure that you were also um, enlightened in this process and that you got to learn a lot of new things. There are a lot many famous buildings that you can read about. So please go back and read more about it. And if you have any queries or any doubts, please reach out to us. Thank you. Shantanu sir is here. He will be taking the drawing session for you all. Now I'll be handing over to him. Thank you all for your patience.
Hello.
Sir, you can take
Yeah.
over.
Thank you, Nishitha ma'am. That was a wonderful session. So hello everyone. Hi. I hope everyone is doing fine. So first of all, welcome to this live session. And we are here to discuss a very interesting question today. So I am Shantanu Shaluke, an architect and industrial designer, and we'll be discussing about a question related to a visual design, which is related to your logo design. And here's the question is over here. Okay, so we are gonna discuss this question regarding design a logo for a pet food manufacturing company using circles and triangles. Include animal prints like footprints and bones in your design, and then later on part is use any colors of your choice. So whenever uh, you get such questions, so first of all, like I always recommend to our students, is first of all categorize things so you are able to understand what all parts are there for you to cater to or you to design to. So just simply write down or just underline the the parts that you are supposed to cater to. So first takeaway is it's a pet food company, pet food manufacturing company. So that's my for my brand mapping. Okay. And then what I'm supposed to use is circles and only triangles. And what I'm supposed to create is a logo. Okay. But again, we have a certain information where we can use animal prints like footprints and bones. So we have received a good amount of information, but we are supposed to create a logo by using circle and triangle. And this is the additional information that we can use to take our audience or take the client, or whoever is a consumer of that company, that product, particular product. Okay, so we can take their vision more closer, or probably we will be able to associate more with this pet food manufacturing company. Okay, so rather than going to a final version, I will be discussing about a process that you should follow for your logo design, rather than coloring it and or probably refining a lot of final things, because we just have a half an hour. So my aim is to discuss about the process, how we deal with this whole thing called logo design. So something that we are discussing about a visual creation. So we are going to understand how do we deal with this process very quickly. Okay, so let's understand, let's go ahead and design this logo. And we will be discussing about multiple options or variations, different iterations that we can work on. Okay, so let's work on it. So first of all, it's a pet food company. So probably I mean, we can discuss probably the smaller pets. Like for example, maybe I will write it down. So a pet food, right? For whom it is. So this is my general way of dealing with things. So is it for cats? Is it for dogs? Okay, or is it for birds? Whatever. I mean, they're also okay. Animal kingdom is quite huge, so pet market is quite flourishing these days. So obviously, but I'm not gonna get into like larger animals like horse and cows. So probably I would like to take something like way smaller, so that within that span of timeline we are able to cater to the whole logo design. Okay, so let's consider probably like it can be for fish also. Okay, like aquarium and probably. So either we can go ahead with the smaller categories that like largely consumes the market. So let's understand the cats and dogs. Okay, and what we are supposed to use, we are supposed to use it through circles and triangles. Okay, now next information that we can cater to ourselves is to how we can associate with this particular animals or this species very interestingly. So now like we can rewrite the whole brief. We can just discuss this as pet. Okay, okay, food and pet, which is like dog. Now we can clear this out, and we can just write dog food. Okay, and we have to, what do we have to do is like we have to create a logo for this. Now when I associate myself with a dog, and I don't have to like write out a lot of things, I will just like visual. Okay, so we are supposed to use the triangles and circles, so I will associate myself with certain visuals. Okay, so dogs, so basically dogs, what do we see? So probably like maybe eyes, like being loyal, and that sort of attributes or characters that I will write. I would like to write it down. Okay, so that from which I would be able to, either associate or create something that is that can lead us to something physical as a design. Okay, so I'm gonna write it down. So whatever, like they're cute or whatever the keywords that comes to your mind, I'm gonna write them down. So either like, is it small, is it big? Okay, but furry. This is something that it comes to my mind, like tail, which is always curved. Okay, fine. Ears, either they are droopy, or this is something, or maybe I get something like called. So these are, if you observe, the words that we are trying to select is something fluffy or whatever. So when we say fluffy is like something, we don't get like something like a skinny. We associate ourselves with like probably something like bulky or probably cute. So we are trying to write down the words which we are able to, probably write down a lot of things, or probably create a lot of things from these words visually. Okay, like fur. Like even if I just decide, like, like fur might can be, like a fur ball, for example. Okay. Okay. I mean, just we would be able to create something from these words. Okay. So like dogs love toys, or probably, you can say a ball maybe. Okay, and probably from this like we can generally create something interesting. Now food, when we discuss the food, now it is not a human food again, but which is like probably for dogs, like maybe bones. And see, it is something that as a visual that we have received, we can like maybe a food bowl, okay, maybe which is circular, right? Or probably even we can go to various shapes. Maybe we can like we have food bowl and we can have a water bowl separately. So fine. So again, when we understand dog like or pets, like we can also like collar, okay, like interesting collars that they have, and from which we can cater to a lot of things. So we can take certain words and we can actually build a interesting visuals on it. Okay, so we can take any two words that we associate ourselves, or probably even two or three maybe. Okay, so I would like to go with the fur, maybe tail. That is something like we anybody can quickly associate with dogs even without looking at the dog, right? Or probably when even if you look at the silhouette, you would understand it as a dog. So let's take this three words. Okay, so I'm gonna write them down over here as my keywords. Okay, fur, maybe tail, okay, or ears, and it's a dog food at the end. Okay, so just as a keyword. And when like we can associate ourselves with the food, like we can take keyballs also, like we can take interesting shapes of those keyballs, like for keyballs as in like the way the shapes of whatever it is, circle, or the shape of the food that we can, or even we can like interesting like treats or something, we can write it down. Okay, fine. Okay, so this is our brain map. Okay, so now once we understand this, we can keep this as a lot like a maybe a small key sketch and keep it. Like you can do this in a rough page. Okay, and now we can actually start drawing off things. Okay, so probably like if I have to dog, like I can maybe first of all, like we can quickly create things out of the circle itself. Okay, so maybe we have asked to create is a circles and triangles. So maybe you see, like we can just quickly discuss this of the triangles. Maybe I will just first of all create this, okay, and maybe maybe not draw anything, but yeah, just do this. Maybe this is the shape like that I want to associate myself with a dog, and what we have to like a tail. Probably these are like sort of a very evident features of any dog, and maybe nose. Okay, probably see out of the very basic shapes, we would be able to create anything. Again, we have used this as a quite a random shape, but yeah, we can make a sense out of it. But yeah, this is something that I wish to go ahead with. Okay, for example, okay, now we can come back and closer. We can also discuss a lot of things. Okay, for example, we can also draw this. Okay, maybe. Okay, fine. And maybe as a tail, we are drawing another like a triangle, maybe. Okay, and this is another circle. Now probably you see, if we try to do a addition and subtraction, okay, let's try to deal with this in a very interesting way. Visual making is basically, you see, if we discuss shapes, square, triangles, and circles, with the addition, subtraction, and intersection, we can, like we discuss this in our sessions very regularly, how to simplify things into shape. So, yep, but again, we can, if we just like add or subtract things, we can actually create quite an interesting, visuals. Okay. I think like we can't warp right now, keep it at the same, okay, because like there is a saying that dog's tail is always curved, and so anyway, but what we would try to do deal with this is, let's try to make this into a very simpler format, very simpler way. Okay, so let's deal with this. Okay, and if I try to, sorry, let's try to, make this something like addition and subtractions. Okay. For example, if we are adding the shapes all together, okay, you see, this is something like a leg, okay, like which is, and probably I'm trying to subtract this, like the shape of the tail. For example, if we are trying to reduce it, or maybe, even this leg, for example, instead of like drawing this, let's try to subtract this. Okay, we are just trying the all possible best ways to deal with this, and how we can create a very interesting sort of information. Okay, so this is the very basic gesture of, maybe. So I think it is somewhere taking us closer to the version that we are trying to say, that it is a dog. Okay, so anyway, so from this, now this is my another level of, genre or direction that I will keep this, and maybe now I can work on this even further simply. Okay, let's try to build this. Okay, now maybe I will not have this circle quite bigger. Let's sort out like easily. I mean, maybe we can push things a bit more three-dimensionally too. Okay. We can also draw ears quite in opposite way. What if the dog has one ear? Like adding some fun element to it. Okay, you see. So adding humor or adding some fun element helps audience to retain. So what's the takeaway with the creativity that you have done? So probably somebody is gonna retain that in their memory. And you see, that's the winning situation, winning position for that brand, and it is gonna be remembered, okay, for a certain period of time. Now I'm just adding this, as maybe as a leg, or probably let's just try to add it over here. And probably now, instead of like adding this shape, like we are trying to build it little curved, okay, just to add that accent to it. Okay, fine. So now this is my very basic shape. As another leg, what we can do is we can just add another circle. So, I mean, just to build the visual, we are trying to develop this into a certainly an interesting way. Okay, so this is the direction. Let's keep it, like, for example, I'm going to keep this as my final direction. Let's take it further. Now we also have some of these shapes and things to build, right? You see, so I'm not randomly jumping into multiple ideas. I'm trying to develop my each and individual idea, pushing it to, go ahead towards further limits. Just this eye which is outside, I'm gonna draw that little smaller. Okay, now this is the triangle, right? Let's try to push this. Okay, the shapes that we have tried to associate ourselves with. Or maybe we can add something. Fine. It's a very geometrical. Probably might not even work out at this stage, but I'm trying to talk about the process that, we can get things done. Now, probably what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a play of positive and negatives. You see, maybe let's try to leave that triangle. Let's not draw the triangle. Same thing, right? We are blocking the triangle by not drawing it. Very interesting way to, draw the idea. We can also, push this maybe a little bit more. Okay. Now, again, I can draw this shape as positive to make it. Yeah, that is what they have asked us to do, right? So probably, a shape, a simple one. Okay. So this is another, this is a very pictorial, or we can say a literal way to discuss this logo. Okay. maybe, yes, obviously, if a lot of things can be done and can be created, maybe we can use this as a base of the triangle. Okay, we can add certainly more things to this. Okay, add maybe adding another triangle to it, and this is how probably we would like to stop it. Okay, maybe this is the logo that we are looking at. Now let's completely, this is one option. So when I'm drawing logo, I'm not leaving at this stage. Okay, I am pushing it to its final stage, and I'm trying to move on to, to understand the next stage or next step. Now next step of me drawing the logos or building a logo would be even simpler. Okay, let's try to understand. Okay, so probably now this is another stage. Now probably what they have asked us to use footprint and bones. Now I'm gonna associate my second keywords that which were dealing with the bowls, right? Water bowls and food bowls, and the shape of the food. Okay, so anyway, so now what I'm going to do is, let's not let's not associate with anything but just this, a circle. Okay, in the beginning. So circle is like a food bowl. Let's see, because it is at the end about the food. They have asked us, we can add, like, the shape of the paw. Let's try to, okay, so understand like how the dog paws are. Okay, so this part is little smaller. Okay, so if you draw like this, and this becomes the cat's paw. Okay, so observe like what you are trying to, a bit of context is really nice, right? If you have this, and they're slightly vertical. Okay, like if you look at the dog's paws, they're just off slightly, vertical. They have nails and all, but yeah, we are not supposed to draw that I mean that, because we are at the end simplifying things, right? We are also supposed to add like another shape, like which is a bone. Right? Let's try to find. So this is my another version. Now you see, we are simplifying it to the core. Now what is this food for? It is meant for a dog. Now probably if I draw that, like, very basic version of it, I will draw this again. Okay, sorry, bad dog. Okay, simplifying the version itself. Making it more cute and the fluffy, that the keywords that we have written down, right? Okay. Okay. So, and that's the mouth. And this is also the addition. Okay. Now this is my rough key sketches that is to be drawn and to be discussed. Okay. Bowl. So this is a bowl. I'm just writing it down. Maybe I can use the shapes of the keyballs as a triangular one. I don't know if I will be able to use this. Now, let's say we have a lot of visuals. Now we are going to build another logo. Okay, so that logo is maybe, perfectly circle. Now I'm drawing the process. Okay, so don't, I'm not going to bother myself with like perfect shapes and all, because I'm trying to show you the process. Okay, fine. Now this is a bowl. Okay, now I want to associate this with the dog. I'm going to use the shape of those keyballs just to still speak about this. Okay. Now this food makes the dog happy. Okay. I'm going to, let's try to associate. So I'm going to use that happier face shape. Okay. So triangle only at the end. Fine. Now I can incorporate a lot of things. Okay. Oh, okay. Over here. Fine. Now, instead of like showing the smile, we can bring, see, a lot of symbolic representation now. Obviously, it might not look very nice at this stage. We are discussing about ideas, right? So maybe this is like, probably not really happy with the dog that we are getting, right? But yeah, probably this direction is something, maybe I'm liking it. Okay. Now maybe it's about the football, right? Okay, maybe this is the part of the bowl. Okay, why not? Like it doesn't. Maybe I'm gonna use the shape of it. Fine, just drawing things. It can get better. Okay, so probably, you know, okay. So just trying to build this something more like a shape of a bowl, but also a character of a dog, right? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna maybe make this positive. Okay, make this to negative. Okay, probably that reflects maybe something like a toy. Yeah, and the eyes that we are yet to be discussed. Maybe, you know, not necessary that you always have to go with like so relative or so literal ideas. Yeah, and maybe I want to show that this is a dog who's actually chewing the bone, probably that is in his or her mouth. Okay, probably now you will be able to see like we have come a long way from understanding how do we have taken the visual and how we have built a logo from it. Okay, fine. So we have just slightly tweaked the shapes, but you see we have been able to keep the information quite intact, and we have been able to use only the information that has been asked us, you know, to take care of and to be drawn. I'm gonna just take off, some of the information from the inside. We're just trying to keep the shapes quite. Okay, you see, so this is how we can build logos, and we can build logos with very interesting insights and very interesting, probably the intention behind it, right? So probably when we do so, the visuals interact, and probably the audience or the viewers or the targeted people are able to cater to the need and the product also. Okay, fine. So this is how we design the logo. I hope you enjoyed the session. So I'll be stopping over here, and I will be handing over it to the course coordinators. Okay, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for being patient. I hope you enjoyed the session. To the host.